Why should you sell your car at a classic car auction, and specifically Anglia Car Auctions classic sales, which run 4-5 times each year? It's a really good question because it's your pride and joy. Maybe it's something you've owned for many, many years. Why should you entrust it to a classic car sales auction? Well, there's a couple of really good points. And next to me, I've got Mr. Guy Snelling, who's responsible for commissioning a lot of the cars into the auction, and we'll run through a few points as to why you should do that. Let's give you a bit of a backstory. Like I said, I was a little bit cynical, Guy. You know, maybe a car auction was a place for where stuff that was a little bit broken, a little bit, you know, oh God, people react in the minute and don't really think about it, goes through. And that's just not the case. Classic car side of things is entirely different.
It's a completely different market, and we like a lot of honesty from our vendors. You know, we like to know if there's problems. So we're appreciating that people aren't able to come and see the cars as they have done in recent years. So just to get as much information as possible.
And we should probably mention, if you're watching this at any other time, we are actually operating under COVID guidelines. And if you're watching this way off in the future, it's important to know that you could be in Australia, you could be in New Zealand, you could be anywhere around the world, and you can buy a car from us. So the key points for me really are that on any given sale day, you've got 2,000,
sometimes more,
people on site,
and they are
online,
committed, registered bidders.
Exactly.
So they're not just maybe I will, maybe I won't. They've gone through the registration process, paid a deposit. They're serious people.
Yeah, and importantly as well, if you're looking to buy an MGB, for example, you may well look online, see a whole plethora of them all over the country. You know, where do you start, right? You pick a colour or you pick a history or whatever you're looking for. Here, you've got maybe one that you're interested in, but there may well also be another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's really important here, is that you've got the eyes of the world in one point, in one day, and you've got about 200 to 300 cars to choose from.
Yeah, so I mean, Land Rovers, in this sale alone, there's 6, which is great. Minis, we always have a good quantity of minis, MGBs, BMWs. There's something, and the number of people that will come onto the site, they'll phone us up about a car. Maybe they'll come to the viewing to look at a specific car. They're then like, what about this? I hadn't considered that.
Exactly.
But they're there, and it works. It works very well.
It's like the best, biggest, fastest moving classic car showroom in the world. If you imagine that across the course of, say, 5 sales across a year, you might have 1,000 classic cars
quite easily
go through this 2-acre site. So just physically, this is a 2-acre site. The vehicles can be delivered here a month or 2 in advance.
As long as we've cleared up from the sale proceeding, you know, we can store the cars. We don't charge to store the cars prior to the sale. We're very flexible about after sale. You don't have to remove it by Tuesday the following week. You know, talk to us. They can stay here for a couple of weeks until transport's organised.
And you have your own articulated lorry, car transporter that goes all over the country all the time, dealing with the trade. I think that's another really good indicator as well. Another point is that you work very closely with a whole range of traders all over the world. And if you're good enough for them, then, well, if that's who you're buying, if you're going to go and buy your car from a classic car dealer and it's coming from Anglia Car Auctions in the first place, do the maths, right? So I think
it's a lot of repeat business, a lot of repeat business as well.
So a couple of real key points. Like I said at the start of this, I was a little bit of a cynic, and I'll hold my hands up to that as well. Now I've become more aware of the process and seen the sales in action. It's really a very cool thing to be part of, and I'm not just saying that. It genuinely is, and you know,
we get results.
Yeah, you get results. So if you're buying, great place to be. If you're selling, please do consider Anglia Car Auctions. How, and this is the last thing, how can people commission their car? Someone is sat watching this, I want to sell my classic car, what happens next?
Pick up the phone, drop us an email, on the website, all the details, you can click a link. As much information as possible about your car, photos, details of restoration, just to give us a little bit of an idea. We'll discuss value with you. Reserves can be set in agreement, you know, where we're all working together. It's sensible to have a figure, the guide price that attracts people in, but gives you a little bit of reassurance as well.
Yeah, and I think that's important as well, that you're not just sat there on your own trying to sell your car. You're working with a time-served industry professional who I can vouch for the fact has got a massive barn full of cars, which is personally owned because he's an enthusiast as well. So a dedicated site where your vehicle is kept safe and secure in advance and post-sale. A team of people ready to talk to who can take you through the whole process safely. They've done it thousands of times before. You've got the world as a marketplace. The world is out there watching this place. We've seen that through the live streams. You can check back through the comments. People from literally all over the world checking in. Great results as well. And a brilliant marketing team who will make sure that your car is presented properly. The cars, to the large part, are driven through the hall here. So they come through under motion. What more do you need? Get involved, get onto the website, reach out to Guy or one of the members of the team and look into getting your car into one of our future classic car sales.